in the scheme of things. So what we want to do is to reach out to the populace. Look, it's no more business as usual in Nigerian politics. With the invention in the Electoral Act, the VAS, and some other electronic transmission, a lot of enthusiasm has been built. People really want to make things happen. People want to participate. So the people will look at all the candidates. They will consider what they have in stock for them, what their party has in stock for them, and take a decision on where their interest lies. It's no longer about I'm popular in my party. No. Who told you your party people will vote for you if you don't have the competence, if you don't have the capability, if you are just fostered on them by perhaps a godfather or an area father or somebody with the powers of the gun? No, the people will look at you. Let them bring you with so much force. Let them bring you with so much fear. When it comes to the ballot, the people will exercise their franchise. You cannot follow them to the polling booths. Give them money, they will take your money. But they will listen to all the candidates. They will know what their ideas are. They will know what their pedigree. They will know the ones that can learn. They will know the ones that cannot learn. They will know, for instance, I can tell you, the party that I represent, the manifesto is very simple. It's a manifesto of reset. Just reset the bad system. Oh, we've had change, we've had next level, we all know where we are. There's no amount of English that will tell you that things are not as they should be. Let nobody sugarcoat anything for you. So if my party is saying that, look, we want to reunify the people, we don't want us polarized. If you say we want to better the economy, if we say we want improved security, if we say we want better education, if we say we want true federalism, those are very simple, clear terms. I don't need a 100-page document for an average Oshodi person to understand that the economy needs attention, to understand that we need improved security, to understand that our children need education, to understand that we shouldn't have spent 8 months sitting back at home, to understand that we need true federalism. Those are key points that we are marshalling, and we are telling the people. We are not promising that, look, the day we come to government, the dollar that is now over 700 will immediately come back to 1 naira. No, there are process, and we understand that process because we've been in that process. We've gone through that process. We have people with experience that we have brought on board that today are leading in global, global institutions. So if you want to look at it, when you talk about polarity within Oshodi, it's a drop in an ocean. The average voter is waiting to end a system that is comatose. The average voter in Oshodi is waiting to end a system that has destroyed them, a system that has not made them sleep with their 2 eyes. Nobody is ready to blame anybody. Everybody has tried their best. The current government tried.
I think his network is acting up.
Yes. I think he's having network issues.
Okay, he has left. He will jump back.
I think he will rejoin. Yes. So
we have Honorable RMD in the house as well. We have
Oh, okay.
Alaba Ogunleye. We have one Ijoba inside.
Okay.
They're still expecting. Okay. Yeah, you are welcome, sir.
Okay, you're welcome back, sir.
Okay. I think it's back. So I need to unmute him. Okay, you can turn on your video, sir. Okay, you're welcome
My
back.
video is on,
Yes, you are on, sir.
and I think I'm unmuted.
No, we can hear you now.
I don't know where I cut off. He's still trying to connect using my Wi-Fi. If the moderator can bring me on, please. So sorry for the interruption.
You are on, sir. You are on. We can hear you.
Okay. I'm trying to get to know exactly where I stopped before the line went on.
Okay, Comrade Asfan, over to you.
Okay, you were talking about the people being aware about some of the amenities we should have.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, I'm saying, look, most of these things are not rocket science. The people are very much aware. And what the people want is not El Dorado. The people just want the minimal standard. You know, our people want good roads. Our people want quality education for the children. Our people want good health care. You know, basic health care. I mean, those are things nobody is asking. At the moment, I know where we should be now. Nobody is asking anybody for specific social security. You must do this for me. You must do this at my retirement age and what have you. People are asking for basic amenities, and they should get the basic amenities. So that I think that answers the question.
Yes, it does. But in the world we live in as much as we actually desire and for the needful to be done, for those basic amenities to be provided, but we still have some citizens where I think they need to be sensitized. How do we sensitize them and creating an awareness for them to realize that it's not about someone about being given some token and then vote this and then they get disappointed in the end. So I believe so how do we sensitize the constituents?
Let me comment on this.
Okay,
you see,
sir.
One of the reasons why I chose to come out to represent my people in Oshodi.
Okay.
Knowledge is power.
Of course.
What you don't know is bigger than you. Do you know, as we are in that Oshodi, do you know there are some things, there are some right of first refusal that we should have that we are not taking advantage of? There are federal institutions located within our constituency that when they talk about employment, there must be a caption, there must be reservation for folks in Oshodi. But if we don't know, we don't know. And they do these things and put in their own cronies, and we are there, we are the one, at the detriment of the noise pollution, high risk location, and yet we are being deprived of basic necessities. But if you don't ask, people will trample on you. So I want the representation is not just about wearing agbada or babariga and saying, yes, I'm the representative of Oshodi Solo Constituency 1. Where is my sitting allowance? That's not where it stops. No. It goes beyond even legislation. It goes beyond ensuring that in the preparation of the budget, ample provision is made. You fight, you champion the cause of your people. Look at the airport in that place. How many of our children are there? How many? and we're in close proximity. Look, somebody is going to champion that. I will be the person. And when we champion it, it will be visible. Everybody will see it. And that's why a platform like yours is important. And that's why I'm so happy that I'm your first guest here. This is a wonderful thing you are doing. It is. And it's part of the things that will reach out to people, and a lot of people will know about this. And in the coming months, in the coming days, it will get to a point where you will even have to bring the 2 candidates or 3 or 4 candidates for a particular position, to sit down and judge up.
Yes.
Because as far as I'm concerned, we are all brothers.
Of course, sir. The first step of this program is going to be virtual. Then subsequently, probably after we're done with all the candidates, we're going to be having a physical interaction with the candidates live. So where they will also have an opportunity to meet with at least the people of the constituents. So that will come after.
That would be fantastic,
section.
My sister.
Absolutely, sir. So we all want change, and
that would be fantastic.
Of course, sir. So going by the growing disappointment within the with the performance of public office holders, what are your immediate plans once you win the election? We would like to know your first assignment and how you intend to realize them.
My sister, you might have to come again. I'm using my phone. I don't know what happened to my internet.
Okay, that's fine, sir.
I'm using my phone, so you might need to, come again.
There's no problem about that, sir. I said, going by the growing disappointment with the performance of public office holders, what are your immediate plans once you win the elections? We would like to know your first assignment and how you intend to realize them.
Okay, thank you very much.
You're welcome, sir.
I said something. If you don't know what I don't want to totally agree that our representatives, we've had wonderful representation in Oshodi, I must tell you. Look, I'm a politician. I build bridges. I will not say that all my brothers have failed. What I will say is that they have not met the people's needs 100%. But when you meet the people's need 50%, it is seen as a pass. So I will respectfully give them 45%. So what we want to do when we first come in is to ensure that we hit the ground running. Legislation is not abracadabra. Legislation is not abracadabra. You have to, you really have to go to the House. You really have to first ensure that there is provision for your people in core areas. For instance, in Oshodi, I know if the government can fix 2 roads, there's a road that comes from Ladipo that passes through Ajishegiri, all right, that goes all the way and comes out at Arowojobe. Do you know that if there's a quick fix for that road, do you know the difference it will make in Oshodi?
Absolutely.
Just that one road.
Absolutely.
Just that one road. In terms of interconnectivity. So I will first ensure that we don't have such unsightly, unpassable road anywhere in that local government. Look, it might not necessarily mean, hello?
I'm with you. We are with you, sir.
It might not necessarily mean, putting tar or putting, paving stones or what have you. You see, there is a way you can make a road motorable. You know what I mean by motorable? Absolutely. When it is motorable, it opens up a whole lot of access. I'm just giving you that as an example. So there are some things that when you sit down, you really have to, because you must carry the people along. I am somebody that believes in what we call participatory democracy. For instance, I have my own vision, which I call the AOA vision. I can read them out for you, but I know my party as a manifesto. I mean, I can roll them, those ones out for you, but I know my people in Oshodi, not necessarily PDP members alone. The general populace, they also have their expectations. So in participatory democracy, we bring everybody together, everybody will have a say, and we begin to prioritize those things that we know will meet the people's needs. But my sister, what is the problem now, which is everywhere, is that our people are desirous of affordable food. That is very key. People need the cost of food today. The cost of food today is nothing to talk about. Our people are suffering. So if there are ways we can improve on at least ensuring that the prices of these commodities are affordable to our people. Look, we have hardworking people in Oshodi. Very hardworking people, men and women. Our women are fantastic. They don't joke with their wares. In the morning, they are in their markets. The ones that work as civil servants are already there. Our men are hardworking, but the opportunities are winning. The money in their hands is becoming, useless. A man with a family of 3 or 4 or 5 earning the same amount in the past 5 years, how can he ever cope? So the things we need to do first, we are going to tackle hunger in the land in the best way possible. And we are going to open up our economy. We are going to open up our road to be sure that at least those roads are passable and businesses can move. Thank you very much, moderator.
Thank you very much, sir. Okay, we'll move on to the next question. There is no doubt that lawmaking is very important. It's a very important duty of every legislator. What fresh bills and laws are you introducing to the Lagos State House of Assembly that would have immediate impact on your constituents?
Okay, thank you very much. You see,
You're welcome, sir.
for a start,
Okay,
if the resources that we have in Lagos really gets to Lagosians, that's the beginning of the solution. So it has my primary assignment will be to ensure that the appropriation bill itself, that's the budget itself, the appropriation, is what it should be, is centered at the people. We will debate it. We would ensure that it is what we need that we are doing. Look, in the hinterlands, we are being forgotten. So I would want to ensure that at least I clamor for the right resources to come down to my... Look, if you make a law that affects the entire Lagos, it's not impacting directly on your people. There are several things that I see in Lagos, particularly in my own constituency. What we need actively is urban renewals. I know there are several urban, I'm an architect, so I'm vast when it comes to things like that. What I will concentrate on first is urban renewal, because we need an environment to thrive. We need an environment. We are a product of our environment. So we rigorously pursue urban redevelopment. We rigorously pursue urban rejuvenation and ensure that the parastatals that are, that have the powers, that have been empowered to ensure that we have all those things, are working. If they don't work, there's not much we can do, my sister.
Absolutely, sir.
Lagos,
okay, sir.
Lagos, let me finish. I'm sorry. Lagos
no problem, sir.
Lagos and Oshodi is a city that is bustling, hustling and bustling. you will notice that Oshodi is known as a hub for transportation. So there are laws we'll make with regards to transportation that would ensure that our downfall drivers, our commercial drivers will not need to down tool from now and from time to time, saying they are not working, that they are being extorted. The laws are so much, but importantly, we would ensure that Oshodi has a voice right from the appropriation stage to implementation of the budget. Look, I understand that it's not impossible that you say that the resources are limited. Everywhere in the world, even in America, they can't have all what they have. But you see, there are always pressure. When you have the right pressure, when you are with your people, when you carry your people along, and they tell whoever the governor that this is what we want, wherever there is a will, there will always be a way. And I believe in Oshodi, we will win. Akim will win. The PDP will win. And all of us together will win. And when the PDP wins, it's the people that wins. And I must tell you that, because the people want a genuine change now. The people truly want a genuine change. And they deserve to have one. Thank you.
You're welcome, sir. Okay, moving on to the next question. What stands you apart from other candidates? Why should the people of Oshodi Solo, constituency 1, place a 4-year bet on you?
Okay, first and foremost,
Okay,
I have
sir.
no other place to call home other than Oshodi. I have no other place to call home. And when you know that is your beginning, that is your end, you will not misbehave. Secondly, I have the competence to represent the good people of Oshodi. I have the character. I mean, I just rolled out my educational qualification. It's beyond that. It's about my interactions with the people, with my people. They have a good deal this time around. And when they give me a 4-year one, I'm sure they will say I should come and do more. I'm pretty sure. Because I believe and I know I will live beyond their expectations.
Okay, we actually hope so, sir. Okay, I think we'll pause. Comrade, someone wants to ask you a question. Probably we can give room for that quickly before we proceed. Comrade Dada, Babajide, Razak. Please, can you kindly unmute yourself and...
Can you hear me, please?
Yes, we can. Yes, we can.
Good afternoon to our guests.
Good afternoon.
Comrade.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon, Comrade Dada.
Yeah, you're welcome, sir. I've been listening to you for quite some time now, and with the way you explain your passion for Oshodi. I have 2 questions for you. One, what are you going to do differently, considering the present performance of our representative at Lagos State House of Assembly, Honorable Shokunle, considering his performance that every Dick and Harry knows can see and can testify to? What are you going to do differently that will supersede that? That is one. Then 2, on what ground should also the people hold you? What special thing are you promising us that you are going to do? Because now this kind of an interaction is kind of a bind between you and the people, so that whatever thing you say, people can hold it against, and people can say, okay, before you sit for our vote, this is what you promised. Then we can use that as key performance index after giving you our vote. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much. Now, talking about KPIs, I'll start from the last question. You talked about you want to know those key performance index and what the people should look out for. My brother, as it is, I have always said it, and I'll say it again. I will deal with the people with truth. Truth. When you deal truthfully on any matter, you are bound to make success. You see, the work of a legislator is not to come and tar a road. The work of a legislator is not to come and build a school. The work of a legislator is to facilitate the tarring of those roads, is to fast track the building of those schools, is to fast track the building of those hospitals. I adduced to a term the other time. I said we have fantastic people in Oshodi. And one of those fantastic guys we have is Honorable Shokunle, the sitting House of Assembly members. He has done his own best. He has done, I mean, if his people who are in his party thinks it's not good enough, I mean, I cannot help that. You know, in other words, they probably want something better for Oshodi. And they've prepared the ground for people like us to come and improve on whatever Shokunle has done. And I can assure you that we will not arithmetically improve on it, we will geometrically improve on what Shokunle has done. You will see more roads. You will see more renovated schools. You will see more books in the libraries. You will see more computers with our children. You will see more access to opportunities for employment. You will see more support for our women. You see more empowerment for our youth. Those are things that we are bringing on board, and we are doing it in a different manner. Because look, if we have taken a case study, if we have taken a clue from some of these our leaders that you have talked about, the next thing you should see is an improvement. And Comrade Dada, I assure you, by the grace of God, I will deal with you truthfully. I will deal with every Oshodi man, every Oshodi woman truthfully, and I will bring in the dividends of democracy. I just mentioned now that there's a road that is very, that concerns me, that I feel should be done, because it can always help to, to ease traffic within Oshodi. That's me. If I call my people to a town hall meeting and they say, look, Akin, that's not the road we want now. We want the one from, so place to so place. Those are the ones we will push. So please expect that there will be improvements, expect that the glory of the later shall surpass that of the former. So whatever we might have done in the past will be child's play to what you'll be seeing in Oshodi going forward. Thank you, my brother.
Okay, thank you very much, sir. Okay, I can see someone, CCG or CECG also has a question for you, sir. Please,
Okay,
Mr. Asisi, kindly unmute yourself and proceed with your question. Comrade CCG. Are you there?
Yeah.
Please,
Yeah,
kindly
I'm
unmute
there.
yourself. Kindly unmute yourself. Turn on your video, sir. Then you proceed with your question.
Okay. Okay, let me just quickly. Okay, good morning. Can you hear me?
Comrade, go ahead, sir.
We can hear you.
Good morning. Good morning, Mr. King. Yeah, okay, good afternoon, Mr. King. Now, I could have these questions for you, and we all want the best for Oshodi, and Oshodi shall continue to be great. Now, you should realize you have been a politician in Oshodi for a very long time. We have one issue in Oshodi, which is perennial flooding in Oshodi. If you look at all the water,
I didn't get that, sir.
Perennial flooding.
Okay, yes.
perennial flooding. If you look at all the waters they are using at GRA, that is other side of the rail line, all those waters are channeled towards Ajisegiri down to. Being an architect, please, what plans do you have in place to make sure that maybe a legislation that must have in place that deal with this problem? Do you have any idea of solution to that problem? That's one. Then, secondly, when you are talking, you are saying all your predecessors, they have tried their best possible, and then unemployment opportunity, that there's some companies within our Oshodi axis that we have not been, made use of. I wanted to shed more light on that because I can see most of the companies that surrounded Oshodi, they are federal parastatals. So what are you going to be your effort as an aspirant going to Lagos State House of Assembly to improve on that? That's what my two questions.
Thank you, Honorable Sesi G. Is this Sesi G?
Yes, yes.
Is it the famous Sesi G designer?
Yes, that's the name. The name is Konigagbe.
Okay, thank you very much for your question. Now, about the flood that comes from GRA all the way to the E-axis. Let me just use E-axis, for reference purpose. That problem is going to be sorted out soon. The Lagos State government, I'm aware, is doing a lot of investments currently. They are having a lot of investments currently in that axis. You will see some deep drains going on inside GRA now, if you are familiar with GRA. When GRA was designed, it was they didn't design it with any what do you call it in mind, drainage. So it was a plain land, and they just built little houses here and there, and they had a lot of green areas, if you remember, comrade. But today that has changed. There has been a lot of developments that sprang up in GRA, and it's no longer the GRA we used to know. So most of the flood water come over and disturb us in areas like Ajisegiri, like you talked about. It's really, 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 really very bad. But I know that with the recent investments in those drainage in that place, we are likely to have a reduction in that flash flooding. It's actually more of a flash flooding that we have in those areas. So I see an end to it soon. But what we can do, because if you don't bring it out, it's part of the things I was trying to explain earlier, that you really need to bring some of these things to the fore. We are the ones suffering the flooding. If we don't cry out, they won't know. Not quite long, they had to run a very deep drainage through Charles Amo, through Alasia compound, just by that side. This is also in the bid to ease that flash flooding affecting that E-axis. But like you have said, I have noted it. Let's work together. Please, I'll need your support. I'll need the support of your people, your wife and children, and your friends and other folks, so that when I get there, I want to assure you that I will put that on the front burner to find a lasting solution to that problem. Now, you will also notice that most of our land in Oshodi, the government is acquiring them, and they are not using it for things that will benefit us directly. What do they use it for? They use it for instance, they took some that they use for special squad, task force office, LASMA this, LASMA that. That's what they are using those things for. And those things don't bring income to the average Oshodi person. That's the truth. But what they can bring to us, those institutions can bring employment opportunities to us. And there's no way they will do employment in those institutions without running same through your legislators. and true stakeholders in that community. You see, but if the stakeholders, if the legislator in that community is unaware of the right of the people, is unaware of his own right, it will pass. Am I correct? What I'm saying is that we are going to reconsider all those things and look, if it means taking them to court, we'll take them to court. We'll seek proper redress. Because if you have used a large chunk of our land as public institutions, spanning from, from the airport section all the way to Agege Motor Road, where you have a lot of federal and state institutions, and across, there must be some level of compensation for us. Those are things that I will clamor for, and I'll clamor for it rigorously. And I assure you, if we join hands together and put our voice together as one, the government will have no other reason than to say, hey, look, we have wronged you, and let us right the wrongs of the past. So I think is one of the things I have decided to put on the front burner, and I hope that, when we get to the house, by the grace of God, with your support, these are things we'll bring to fore, and our children will have the right jobs. And we can even now demand for our own portion of land that can help our women, where they can trade. In my team, we are discussing having like a farm market in Oshodi. Because Oshodi, the number of millions of people that commit to that place. So if the government can give us that land, if we can source for it and create a farm market where our women can really trade and make more money, even our men can trade and make money, I think it's something that will directly benefit the people of Oshodi, aside from the opportunities of gainful employment for our youths, gainful employment for our children, and better scholarship opportunities for our children, even in schools within and without Oshodi. Thank you very much, sir.
Okay. Thank you very much, sir. Mr. Alaba, please kindly hold on. You asked a question. Just hold on for a few minutes. So, sir, thank you very much. So our next question is talking about the youth. Taking a look around the constituency, tell us so much about youth unemployment and the menace of drug abuse. What specific plans do you have to stem the tide? And also, within how many months of your emergence after the election should the people expect to start feeling the impact of your representation?
Okay, let me start by saying that an idle hand is the devil's workshop. And if you have malaria and the only thing you are taking is an analgesic to cure the headache is just a symptom of the malaria. Am I correct? You must attack the disease from its source, otherwise it gets worse. Now, youth unemployment, out of school children, drug abuse menace, in our society now is disturbing. And listen, it's not just in our society. There's what we call the opioid epidemic, even in America. Opioid epidemic, even in America. It is everywhere in the world that you have this abuse. And of course, some people are behind this. Some people are making money. The federal government has an NDLEA who is working very hard towards eradicating, this menace. But you see, what I would have, I cannot say I will come in and eradicate drug abuse or youth unemployment. How many people can Aki employ? No. Even the government itself doesn't have much business in business. No. The government, the legislators, they are to create what you call the enabling environment. My own duty is to ensure that we even have a stock of our eligible youths. When we have a stock of our eligible youths, we have a stock of our youths that needs training. So the best I can do, and that I will do, and that I must do, is to ensure that I prepare our youths for gainful employment. My sister, it is not all graduates that can attend interview now and pass. Trust me, that's the truth. Some graduates went to school, but school didn't go through them. I'm sorry to say this. You know, some people they won't even have HND, but their head, they there. When you ask them questions, when you give them tasks, they understand, they are hands-on. You know, so one of the things that I want to do is to ensure that we bring these things to bear. Let us train our youths. Let us make them work ready. Graduates, let's bring them together and teach them some skills that cannot just make them, you know, job seekers, but employers of labor. In the US, when you finish your secondary school, you might choose not to, most of them choose not to go to university. You know why? Because there's opportunity around. They will learn some of this coding. They will go and, you know, even the likes of Bill Gates, they pulled out. What are these people teaching us? So, but do we have the same opportunities around us? I remember in Oshodi, I used to hawk banana. Okay, you know, it's plantain. You know, when I was growing up, when I was in, you know, school, and anytime I come back from school, you know, I always try to help my grandma, who always had this bunch of, you know, banana, and I'll take a tray and put it, and I'll put it on my head and I'll walk around. And in no time, before I move 200 meters, I would have finished selling everything. I will come back. The woman will say, no, your father must not know that you are doing this. I said, doing what? That you gave me something to sell at, I can't remember the amount now. I'll take another one because it was in me. I was enthusiastic. That entrepreneurial thing was in me. I wanted to sell. I wanted to turn that, but it gives me joy. So what am I saying is that some of us have even done some things that you will not believe, just to ensure that we help our parents. But today, things are different. Nobody, you will hardly find, you know, students want to do that today, you know. But what we can do is let us teach them. Let us empower them. Let us give them the right skill. That is very, very important. And the moment they have that, and they are using it and they are turning it into wealth, you will see that the problem of drug abuse will automatically reduce. Premarital pregnancies will drastically reduce, and our community will be better off for it. So it's one of the things that we must inculcate as part of our agenda. Youth empowerment, youth empowerment, youth empowerment. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you very much, sir. Okay, we'll give the audience the room to ask questions. I think I saw the hand of Comrade Alaba Ogunleye. If you are still available, kindly ask your question. Thank you.
Thank you very much, moderator. Hello, good afternoon.
Yeah, good afternoon.
Okay, Ogunleye Alaba is my name.
Okay.
Thank you for this very wonderful opportunity. Also, the Marshall League, I give kudos to you guys. You are not only giving us a voice to voice out whatever we have in mind. This should serve as the voice of the voiceless. And kudos to you guys. I believe with time, that will surely be your starting point. It's not really a question. I've known Mr. Akin, Omo Akin, for a very long time. He used to be part of our party, APC. We've been, like he said earlier, Oshodi as a general, we're all family. And I've known him, and he's a man I must confess I've loved over time. But my own little problem, or well, I don't know how to place this is, I don't know at a point I knew when he was still in APC, he contested to be a member of the House of Representatives, and he contested one of the primaries, if I'm right.
Yes.
And he lost. And he lost out. That we can't deny the fact that you are well endowed. Everybody loves you around, and with all these things you are doling out, I can easily say you are really prepared for that particular office. But now you coming down to House of Assembly, though we might say both are legislative houses, but what you have, I want to believe what you prepared over time for House of Representatives is quite different from what you might have to prepare for going into the House of Representatives. Would this amount to being, were you at a point forced to downgrade yourself, or can we call this desperation? Because it's fine if we cross carpet from one party to another, but downgrading, it's like you having a premium on your DSTV and decide to go to the lower cadre of the ladder. It still baffles me. I need you to shed light on this, please.
Okay, let me answer my good friend. First, I will technically answer you. In Oshodi Solo Constituency 1, it is the same number of polling booths that you have that will vote for House of Rep, that will also vote for House of Assembly. I was about 35 years? No, 36 years when I contested to go to House of Rep. Today, I'm 45 years old. I have more family responsibility now. To my aged parents, to my growing children, so some of the things, and that's why it's important to always know what your limits are. If I go to Abuja now, I know I have what it takes to say, look, let me go all out for House of Rep. No. The people, vying for House of Rep, they are not in any, but you see, at the moment, because of the status of my life, my other, commitments, I cannot, and businesses, I cannot leave Lagos for now. And yet, I still want to be your representative. And yet, I still want to, bring down all those ideas that I've, been dreaming of for almost a decade ago. So, please pardon me if it looks like a demotion, but I promise you that if you give me the chance, you will never regret that you partnered with Akin Akinyemi, in whatever capacity, even if it's a counselor. Whatever I do, the people always comes first. And listen, there is nowhere you can serve the people. You are not their boss. The fact that you are House of Rep doesn't mean you are the boss of. My current sitting House of Rep now is being paid with my taxpayers' money. It's answerable to me. So when you look at it from that perspective, just take it that certain circumstance has made Akinyemi to vie for the Lagos State House of Assembly, and I'm in business, and I really want to do the job, and I will not disappoint you. I will not disappoint my family. I will not disappoint this forum, because I love what you are doing, and I love you all. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir, for that wonderful justice to the question. Okay, we're going to take 2 questions, but we'll give room to Oluwadare Akane. Then after himself, then we'll give room to Comrade Babajide. So please, Mr. Comrade Dare, please, can you proceed with your question?
Okay, good afternoon, Architect. It's nice having you on board this afternoon. We really appreciate the fact that you have the interest of Oshodi people at heart, which is very, very, very fantastic.
Please, can you turn your camera so we see you? Sorry.
Oh, okay. That means you just need to hold on.
Okay, so that we'll get to know.
The face does not differ. It's not different from what you will see physically, but it's very important for us to have a good view of the question, because this is something that really will play a huge role in the economy as a whole. So, okay, the lighting may not be too bright, so you have to please kindly bear with me.
Don't worry, I will off the lights in my own place too.
Okay,
It's no
so
problem. No problem.
I believe you can see me now.
Yes.
Okay, thank you so much. So, my question, just to be fast about it, we have lesser time to spend, is considering the economic situation of Nigeria of today, where we have employment issue here and there, and also the exchange rate is not in favor of anybody. The market is becoming a huge issue over time, and people are really struggling to have a minimum standard living over time. What are you thinking? Because even when you are educated, there is a struggle around getting a good job. Now, the unskilled citizens of Oshodi, is there any plans for them in terms of a means that would have them generate their own income through empowerment? Is there any plan for you whenever you get into that post for all of these individuals?
Okay, thank you very much. I see why you are hiding your face in the first instance. You know, because this question you had now doesn't show that Oshodi people don't have money. Eh? Now, you talked about the economy. I don't deceive people. Everywhere you go now, there's inflationary trend. Even in the UK, the Bank of England just raised their rates now, almost 3%. You know, something that has never happened since 1989. If you go to the US, the gas prices, is to the roof. The cost of even food is also high. Go everywhere. And unfortunately, we shouldn't have gone through this in this country if we had better management. But that is not the, the question and where I'm going. Where I'm going, I've already answered this question. I said the first thing we will tackle, the very first thing we will tackle is to ensure affordability of basic foodstuff. On October Lumagba, we must do it. Because it is sine qua non. That's the truth. The purchasing power of people, particularly when it comes to foodstuff today, when it comes to foodstuff today, is something else. And that's why whatever it is that we'll do, if it means spending personal money, if it means talking to good people, well-meaning people, because some people have, there are philanthropists everywhere. We will gather the resources to ensure that even if it is a board, our people can afford basic food materials. Now, when it comes to unskilled people, if you look at most of these unskilled people, what they have gone through, is maybe riding Okada, riding Keke Napep, riding, Korokwe, and what have you, just to also fend for their family. But you would also see that because of certain menaces in our society, some of these jobs have been stopped by governments. What we will do is to ensure that for everyone that is stopped, there's for every willing hand. Note, for every willing hand. It is not all of us that want to work. Some people expect manna. I'm not talking. But for every work we can do, and I promise you participate, there will be boards, there will be elders, not on partisan basis. Because ABO party, he doesn't know whether you are PDP or APC or ABGA or Labour Party or NNPP. Onga doesn't know that. When you get back home as a family man and you didn't bring in money and your daughter looks at you, your wife looks at you, you know what it looks like, what it feels like. We don't want that to happen to our people. So far, you are willing to work and you are able. We'll definitely make sure that we do the needful and we talk to the right people. And using our own influence as well, would ensure that we meet, at some point. Thank you very much, sir.
Okay. Thank you very much. The program was supposed to end by 4 p.m., but we decided to extend it. So I think we should be preparing to round up by 4:15. So we'll just take one more question from the audience. And then this is to kindly remind us that tomorrow we'll be having another section with, that will be the Labour Party now, the Labour Party candidate. So please join us tomorrow for that edition. So we'll proceed to Comrade Dada. Please, can you kindly ask your question, sir?
Can you hear me?
Yes, loud and clear.
Okay, good
Yes.
afternoon.
Good afternoon once again, sir.
I really appreciate your analysis and your kind of dynamics. It shows also this there's a lot of people. But when you are making your analysis, you said something as regards youth empowerment. And from the youth empowerment, I have two questions which I'm going to write out. Please, architect, kindly take note of those things. One, when you talk of youth empowerment, we only talk of the skills youth. What about that are talented, but they are not that educated? What role are you going to play? If you watch in our education system, it's like focus has always been on the right system. What about students that are specially gifted, like those that can draw, like those that have special attributes? That is one. Then two, what specifically are you going to do as regards the education system? I want you to look at it critically. And as an architect is always an innovator, a designer. There is someone that can close the eyes and say, oh, this work. And I believe you should be able to start thinking inward. What special things are you going to do as regards education? Are you going to provide just one bus as it has been done previously for a population of students of about 40,000? When you talk of empowerment of people, how are you going to do it that is not going to be for your party members alone, assuming you are our representative? How are you going to do? In what way are you going to do a systematic portfolio of people that benefited and be transparent to the people so that people will know that, okay, this thing is not only for your people. Lastly, on education, if you watch, it has become a general story that every time you see our representative, our whatever, this is now GCE from and using it as an achievement. But no, very few of them has come back and tell us the story of those that got those GCE forms. So look at it critically and just tell us briefly what you are going to do.
I got the first two questions. I got the first two questions, and I think I've answered them, but I will just remind us of what I said. You see, education is not only in the four walls of classrooms. And I've said that much today. Education is not just in four walls of classrooms. The richest people I'll give you two instances. We all know Aliko Dangote. And we all know Cosmos Maduka, the Koskaris guys. These two guys are multi-billionaires in dollars today. They didn't come to Lagos with BSc. That's the truth. In fact, Cosmos didn't come with SSC, senior school, or whatever they called it at that time. You know, so for me, I'm somebody that believes in opportunities for all. And that's what I am going to do, opportunities for all. Thank you for the accolades to architects. I'm happy that you know what we can do with our thinking faculties. I can assure you that we will design a scheme that will take care of all, that will accommodate all. It cannot be for everybody, but at least it will be visible enough. It will be visible enough. Now, when you talk about parties, the moment you get to general election, you are your party candidate, your party's property, but you are the people's property now. Because it is the people that the party wants to serve. Because if the party don't serve the people will show the party because it is the people that have the power. And that's why when you hear a party like PDP, what we say is power to the people. Power to the people. So we want to empower the people. So whatever you want to do, we want to do. The people is at the fulcrum of our plans. And we'll never forget the people. On the issue of school bus, is a very fantastic idea. I will continue with that by the grace of God. I will continue with that and will improve on it, definitely. Whatever anybody might have seen anybody do, tell your friends that Aki Akiemi is saying he will double whatever they have done. I'm not saying I will improve. I said I will double whatever they have done. You know, maybe if I double it, maybe by then I will get to like 75%. You know, so that's my own plan. And the last question I didn't get, but I know it's something I would have also attempted an answer on. So please, I don't know if that answered my brother's question. And I would like to know him more because of some things I've heard from him today. So if you can permit me to share my contacts for Comrade Dada to call me on, you know, one-on-one so that I can engage him more in that regards.
Okay, that's fine, sir. That's fine. So you can private chat the admin or himself with the number then, your contact, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Let me do that right away.
Okay, sir. You can private chat the admin or himself. Okay, sir. So we'll give room for is it Akins Baba to proceed with his question. So Mr. Akins, kindly unmute yourself and turn on your video, then proceed with your question. Thank you.
Sorry, what's the Comrade Dada? What's his name on this thing? It's not showing. I can't.
Okay, his name is Dada Babajide Razak.
Okay, I've seen it. Done already.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir. So, Mr. Akins, you're welcome.
Thank you.
So you can proceed with your question. Kindly unmute yourself.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Good afternoon.
Okay. Good afternoon.
All protocol duly observed. Good afternoon, Aki Akiemi.
Good afternoon, sir.
Sorry, I joined the Zoom meeting late. I might have missed some points you made, but permit me to ask some question. I don't know, maybe you talk about it. So just please permit me to. My first question is, what makes you different? Because going by the few hours of assembly that I've been able to grow up to know in Oshodi, I can only speak for one person that I've really seen his effects in our local government, which is a person of Ayeni, with the help of the computer school and everything. And it as at least if he didn't do well in every other aspect, but for the aspect of education, I can score him over 100% as far as I'm concerned. So my question now is, what makes you different? That's number one question. Number two question is, there is constituency allowance for honorables. How do you plan to use it for the good people of Oshodi? And my number three question, which is the most important thing and the thing that baffles me most in our society, is the issue of miscreants, the Agbero, the tout. I can't count the number of times I've been on areas like Daudu Street, and suddenly people tell us, Esare. And we know where these people are. We know where they stay. We know the areas. We know about different, we are in Oshodi, we know ourselves. So what is your plan? Do you have any plan on this? Do you have any plan for Oshodi to have a peaceful and a very good environment, unlike what we are having now, and unlike the kind of picture people see outside at Oshodi, Omotalo, and everybody. So those are my questions. Thank you.
Thank you, Akins Baba. You know, when Akins Baba asks Akins Omo question, you know there will be some synergy. Thank you very much. Just like you rightly adduced, I've answered some of the questions, the first one, but I'll quickly run over it again. I said, you know, that I'm coming with a lot of competence and capacity and character. And that's going to be, you know, there's going to be a difference from the past. And that by the grace of God, it will be greater glory this time around. I'm glad you mentioned Honorable Ayeni. I think he has moved to Osun now. I think he's in Osun now. And the man is doing well for himself. So anything that we do anywhere is a seed. So when we plant it, it germinates. Sometimes we are the direct beneficiary. Sometimes it waits for our children and children to reap. So I mean, someone else will reap that goodness. Let me just put it that way. So, Akins Baba, please be rest assured that we are coming with avant-garde ideas. We are coming as professionals in politics, and we are coming to really, you know, talk to the people. We want to challenge the people. We want to bring out the best in people and ensure that the people have the best in return. Now, on the issue of the menace of area boys, you see, these things, Umbo, and Walaman Dede. Somebody said something that I was in APC at some point. Yes, I had a reason for leaving because already I saw what was coming. You know, we all know that we all have a good father. But, you know, it is whatever the father says from up. Before it gets to the chief, before it gets to the palace guards, there will be addition and subtraction. When I noticed that some people were already now becoming the face of the polity, I couldn't stomach it, and I had to give myself some brain to pursue democracy where I think I can get it. This is the time for us to nip it at the bud. If in this election, we allow trances, we allow legalism, to have its way, then it is finished. But in this election that we are going into, if we allow the will of the people to prevail, then the trans, the area boy, the hoodlum, the Agbero, everybody will know their place. And everybody will know that the people are the ones with the power, not the guns, not the cutlass. So please, Ekins Baba, Efio Kombale, we'll make sure that we have ample security. We'll fight with technology, we'll fight on the side of the law to be sure that everybody is safe and secure. Nobody should be afraid. Nobody should be afraid. It's our land. Our land is a peaceful land. We will not allow outsiders to come and decimate our land, to come and give our land a bad name. So, sir, please be reassured that we mean well. We will not allow the will of the people to be trampled by a few who are hell-bent on cornering power or misrepresenting. Look, I have great respect for the Jagaban. Even though I'm an Atiku supporter, you will never see me anywhere disparage the person of Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, who is our father. There's nothing anybody can do about it, you know. But in a situation whereby some people want to, you know, be some pseudo Asiwaju and want to tell us what Asiwaju has never said, I don't think it makes sense. We will not fight them in their own way. We will not pay them back in their own coin. We'll use our education, we'll use the contents of our own character, and we'll use persuasion of our people to make sure that on the field we defeat them. And we just don't want to defeat them. We want to defeat them squarely so that they will know that even though we are not saying we don't want them, we want them to know that this is Oshodi. This is our land. It belongs to all of us. It doesn't belong to Akiomake alone. It doesn't belong to the moderator alone. It doesn't belong to Ekins Baba alone. It belongs to all of us. And the will of the people must always come to the fore. So please be rest assured. I know you asked one more question, the second one. Please, can somebody just remind me so that I can address that as well? Moderator, he asked one middle question.
Okay, you mean Akins? I think you've...
Yes, if you're still here, he asked one, I don't know if I've answered all his questions.
Mr. Akins.
The second question I asked is that how do you plan to use the constituency allowance for the...
Okay, yes.
Okay.
Well, you see, a lot of us get some things wrong. You see, those constituency allowance are specific budgets earmarked for specific projects. What I can assure you, that whatever project is listed for it, that is what it will go for, 100%. The only thing I can do is to augment it even with my own personal funds so that I can, ensure that whatever it is they are doing meets my own standard, not just the standard of the budgets. That's the best I can do in that regards. We mean well. We'll judiciously use your money where it belongs, and it will be visible. I talked earlier, I don't know if you were here when I talked about participatory democracy. It's something that everybody will see. We are going to be having social enhancement projects, and these social enhancement projects, they are not even part of what constituency allowance we do. They are things that we are saving money for already. We are already, saving money, setting money aside, because there are things that we have in plans that we must do for our people. So by the time we bring all of them together, Oshodi will be great again. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir. We'll be taking one more question. I think the audience, one of the audience, Prince Omenihu, sent in a chat saying we have a lot of children hawking on the road. So what plans do you have to tackle child labor if elected, sir?
Okay, thank you very much, Prince. The recent reports we are getting, we are hearing that there are 2 million children out of school in Nigeria, in Lagos, over 20 million in Nigeria. I also said earlier that I hawked when I was going to school in Oshodi, but mine was voluntary, and I don't think there's anything wrong in any child of age, going to school and coming back, going, having lessons and what have you. And if at all there's a need to help the family, it should just be within the confine of their own, house or something, because the risk out there now is a lot. So what we want to do, which we have been doing before, when I say we, I'm contextualizing it to the PDP. We are going to be having lessons. The moment they are, they leave classrooms in the evening, we'll have additional lessons, and it will be free of charge. It will be the type that has never been seen before. Like I said, what we want to do is to improve. And the improvement we are talking about is double improvements. Double improvement. So if the capacity we've ever had for any computer education class is 200, we want to start with minimum 400 this time around. If for regular maths class, what we have is 200, we want to start with minimum 400. We are gathering all the statistics, we are gathering all the data, and they will deal with it truthfully. Thank you very much, Prince.
Thank you very much, sir. We've come to the end of today's edition, being the first edition. The program still continues, I think, run through the end of the month, probably to the first or second week of December. So we kindly encourage and employ all participants to please tune in for tomorrow's edition by 3 p.m., where we'll be hosting a candidate from Labour Party. And special thanks to our guest today on the program, Architect Akintunde Akiyemi.
Yes.
We appreciate you for taking time out of your busy schedule to at least get to meet and know and listen to some of the cries of the members of the constituents. We really appreciate you. And to all participants, we also appreciate you. And to all team members of Oshodi Mature League, you are also highly appreciated. So please tune in tomorrow, same time, 3 p.m. for the continuation of the program. Thank you very much. And
Thank
have
you.
a lovely evening.